Okay, so an election may be coming and changes are being made to the rules to qualify for the federal leaders' debates. Party leaders must now meet at least one of three criteria. Michel Cormier is the executive director of the Leaders Debate Commission, and he joins me now. Michel, welcome to the show.
Nice to be here, David.
Why did you feel you needed to make changes to the debate participation criteria?
Well, we wanted the criteria to be clear, simple, and objective, so there's no speculation or no confusion about it. So, the two of the three criteria are the same. If you have already a member in the House of Commons, if you're a party, well, you're into the debate. If you scored 4% in the last election, you're in. The third criteria is that, if you don't qualify for the first two criteria, if you have 4% of current voting intentions in the days following the election call of an average of polls, then you're in also. So those are very simple, objective, based on numbers. So we think that these are clearer for Canadians and also for the people involved in the debates, both the parties, the producers, and everybody. Right,
because in the past, I remember the last election was kind of negotiated and debated in public, but now it's laid out well in advance. But I'm just wondering, how did you settle on these three criteria as the boxes people would need to check?
Well, we consulted widely with experts, academics, with stakeholders, with political parties, all the registered parties, with Elections Canada, and with people who actually have done debates before. So we took our time to actually consult a lot of people, and there was a consensus that those criteria were actually the right ones to actually both capture the past voices and emerging voices also that have a chance of electing members to Parliament.
So I look at this new criteria, and immediately I think the big consequence would be that Maxime Bernier and the People's Party of Canada, unless they can get to 4% in the polls right around election time, they would be excluded under these criteria because there's no seat in the House of Commons. They got less than 4% in the last election. Have you had any response or pushback from the People's Party of Canada since announcing these criteria?
We haven't had any responses from any party at this point. But this decision was not made, relative to a party or to another. This is really based on what is the public interest in terms of debates. And Canada is a parliamentary system. It's not a presidential system. And people vote for parties that may not actually end up being in power. So it's not a two-party contest. So it's important for us to actually make sure that some voters who actually vote for parties who may not have a chance of being in government still have a voice in Parliament. So that was a principle we used to actually base our criteria on.
Now, one of the criteria is that they must have a member of Parliament. But does that member, if someone were to cross the floor, for example, to a new party, does that trigger the criteria, or must they have been elected under the banner of that party in order to get into the debate?
Very good point. They have to have been elected under the banner of that party. You can't just cross the floor or start a party, once you're inside the House. That doesn't count.
Okay. So, for example, and this may be a hypothetical, we know Derek Sloan is a former member of the Conservative Party, now sitting as an independent. If he were to cross to the People's Party of Canada, as some have speculated in this hypothetical thought exercise we're doing right now, that wouldn't get them into debate. They need to focus more on the polling standard, for example. That's
right, because they would have to have that member elected under the banner of the party. That's the rule.
Okay, so Michel, we all think there's going to be an election in the fall. I mean, that's certainly where the tea leaves would lead to this. I mean, do you have a sense of how many debates the Commission is going to organize? Will it just be the one English, the one French, or could we see even more debates this time? Or how will it work in this next election?
No, our mandate says that we're supposed to organize two leaders' debates, one in French and one in English. I mean, we're not opposed to somebody else organizing other debates. We actually are quite open to that. The more debates, the better. But our mandate is to organize two leaders' debates, one in French, one in English.
Okay, Michel Cormier, I'm looking forward to it. I think we'll probably be doing this sometime in September. So thank you for your time.
Okay, we'll see you there for sure. Thanks.
Okay, thanks.
Hi, I'm Vashi Capellos, host of Power in Politics. See more of our show by subscribing to the CBC News channel or click the link for another video.